Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night and found your cat just sitting there, staring at you, completely still, eyes wide, watching? Most people laugh it off. Oh, they're just being weird. Yes, it's adorable. But behind that moment, there's something deeper that most people miss. Because when your cat watches you sleep, it's rarely random. Sometimes it's curiosity, sometimes it's instinct, and sometimes it's communication. And by the way, if your cat suddenly starts doing this much more often, don't brush it off. We'll get into what that really means at the end, and it's something many cat owners wish they understood sooner. Point 1. Your cat isn't watching you, they're monitoring you. Most people assume their cat is just being creepy or curious. But here's the thing, cats are naturally vigilant animals. In the wild, rest is when animals are most vulnerable. So when your cat sits beside you while you sleep, they're doing something surprisingly instinctive. They're keeping watch. Think about it. Your cat could be anywhere, on a warm radiator, curled up in a sunny window, or asleep on the couch. But instead, they choose your bed. Your cat notices the rhythm of your breathing, the small movements under the blanket, even tiny sounds in the room. And in their quiet way, they're making sure everything stays safe. Strange, right? The tiny creature you care for every day might actually believe they're protecting you. Point 2. Your cat might actually be studying your routines. Most people assume cats ignore us when we sleep, but cats are expert observers. In fact, they learn a shocking amount just by watching. When you sleep, your cat notices patterns. When you turn over, when your breathing changes, when the alarm goes off. And here's where it gets fascinating. Cats rely heavily on predictability. Your daily patterns tell them when food happens, when playtime happens, when morning begins. So when they stare at you while you sleep, they're often doing something very simple. Waiting, watching, learning exactly when you'll wake up. Have you ever noticed your cat suddenly appear right before your alarm rings? Not coincidence, observation. Your cat knows your rhythms better than you realize. And hey, if this makes sense to you, smash that like button and subscribe. It's the best way to help us reach more cat people who actually care about understanding their cats on a deeper level. Point 3. Sometimes your cat is simply checking that you're okay. Most people forget something important. To your cat, you're part of their territory, and more than that, you're part of their social group. Cats quietly monitor the well-being of those they trust. Mother cats do it with kittens. Bonded cats do it with each other. And sometimes, your cat does it with you. They listen, they watch, they wait. Is your breathing calm? Are you moving normally? Everything okay? It's subtle, quiet, but strangely caring. Because in your cat's world, your presence matters more than you realize. Point 4. Sometimes the reason is surprisingly simple. Nighttime is when your cat is most awake. Let's look at 3 possibilities. First, hunting instinct. Cats are crepuscular, meaning they're most active at dawn and dusk. When you sleep, your cat might actually be in full alert mode, watching, listening, ready. Now second, curiosity. Cats love movement, and when you sleep, tiny motions happen constantly. A hand shifts, a blanket moves, a foot twitches. To your cat, that's fascinating. And then there's the third reason, affection. Sometimes your cat simply enjoys being near you. Quiet room, safe space, and the person they trust most, right there. Point 5. There's actually science behind this behavior. Researchers studying cat-human bonds have found something fascinating. Cats recognize their owners not just by sight, but by breathing patterns, scent, and subtle movement. Your sleeping body sends signals, tiny signals, but signals your cat understands. Your breathing rhythm, your warmth, your scent in the room. To your cat, those things say one simple message: home. And when they sit there quietly watching you sleep, it's not random curiosity, it's recognition, connection. and in their quiet, feline way, your cat is simply saying, "This is my human." Point 6. Your cat might be reacting to your emotions. Ever had a rough day, fallen asleep exhausted, and noticed your cat staying closer than usual? Cats are surprisingly sensitive to emotional shifts. They notice tone of voice, body language, energy, even the way you move through the house. And when something feels different, your cat sometimes stays close, watching, waiting. Not because they understand your problems, but because they feel something has changed. And instinct tells them one thing: stay nearby, stay connected. Sometimes the quiet stare in the middle of the night is simply your cat saying, "I'm here." Point 7. When your cat suddenly stops watching you while you sleep, listen closely. Remember earlier when we mentioned this? If your cat used to sit beside you at night, watching quietly, and suddenly stops doing it altogether, don't ignore it. Sometimes the reason is physical: joint pain, dental problems, or hidden illness. Small discomforts can change where a cat chooses to sleep. But sometimes the cause is environmental: a new noise in the room, a change in routine, a different sleeping space. Cats rely on familiarity. When something changes, their habits change too. And sometimes it's emotional: stress, loneliness, or feeling less secure in their environment. So if your cat's nighttime habits suddenly change, pay attention. Spend a little extra time with them. Make their space calm and safe again. Because cats don't always say things loudly. Sometimes they speak through the small routines we barely notice. Because when your cat stares at you while you sleep, it was never small to them, and it shouldn't be small to you either.